Hello and welcome back to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel, where of course we're giving you all the latest news, views and opinions on all things Albion. We are back again today to talk about the new signing of Jed Wallace, who has joined West Bromwich Albion on a free transfer following the expiration of his contract at Millwall. Yet another big signing and another big coup for Steve Bruce as he begins his Albion rebuild. Of course, a disappointing campaign last season, but he certainly started off this transfer window in style with the signings of John Swift and Jed Wallace. We'll be unpicking the Jed Wallace transfer today, giving my thoughts on what he could bring to Albion. But make sure you subscribe for more transfer updates like this when they happen, and also of course, your latest updates and, of course, your opinion and analysis over here on the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel. It's the one-stop shop for all your Albion updates throughout the summer. But yeah, let's chat about Jed Wallace. It's going to be a big signing for Albion and one of the biggest that they'll make this window. Make sure you comment your thoughts on the winger down below. Looking forward to getting into it and looking forward to talking about what he could bring to Albion. Let's get into it. You're watching the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel. For match previews, match day vlogs, match reactions and more, make sure to subscribe to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel. Let's talk Jed Wallace, another free transfer for Albion, and yeah, it's a great signing for Albion if I'm honest. It's one of the most consistent championship creators over the past couple of seasons. He's definitely going to bring a bit more attacking firepower to Albion's lineup, and of course plenty of set-piece ability as well, with him being a bit of a corner specialist, as it were, as well. So yeah, what do we know about Jed Wallace and this deal? Of course, a free transfer. We know that his contract was expiring at the end of June with Millwall. Millwall had offered him a new deal. There was also interest from Burnley, but he's opted to join Albion. Which is fantastic, and I think that sort of signing sets another statement with Steve Bruce, and I think John Swift as well, whether it's just a bit more money and that's the thing that's enticed them to come. Of course, we know that Burnley had a bit of late interest, and you look at the projects that Burnley have got on, and with Vincent Kompany, I think you look at that and you think, is that quite good enough to kind of is that project better than Bruce's? And I'd say definitely, but I think in terms of money, maybe we've offered Jed Wallace a bit more, but I wouldn't say it's all about money, because obviously the football project in Wallace's mind, a good professional I think he is, would probably come first. So maybe I think the project that Bruce is building is probably not the most long-term one in terms of what Burnley could have offered, but I think it's a big thing for Bruce to have this and to have Wallace. It's a big coup to other signings that he might want to make, but he's got Swift and Wallace in his ranks already, so perhaps he can make more signings by advertising playing with them. But yeah, ultimately, I think, Millwall offered him another deal as well, and he obviously turned that down to join Albion. Had his medical on Wednesday afternoon, by the sounds of things. I think Bruce has got sort of family ties with Jed Wallace as well. Bruce's son-in-law is Salford striker Matt Smith, who's a massive friend of Jed Wallace. Bruce obviously said that he was going to try and exploit that free market and exploit those new players coming in via the free transfers. And yeah, of course, he's done that with Wallace, and I think that's a big signing. But let's talk about where he can play, what can he do, where can he kind of progress and be a good player really for Albion. And that's where we look at sort of his position. And I think primarily he's a right winger. I think we've seen him there quite a lot, but also attacking midfield is also another area of strength. However, I'm not sure he's going to play there. Of course, you've got John Swift in that area already. But yeah, I think Wallace's primary position is the right wing, but also, I think it's 52% of his time at Millwall this season has been spent on the right wing, 12% spent in attacking midfield, 9% spent up front, and 12% spent on the right wing. So plenty of different kind of angles he could go for there with position wise, but I think primarily right wing, as I said, is going to be his position. How's he done at Millwall over the past season? I think that's always interesting to sort of find out what he can bring via his previous experiences. So if you look at kind of the Championship over last season and you look at what he did, I think you look at the numbers: 6 goals, 13 assists. I think is a massive coup for Albion. As I said, I keep saying that word, but it is a real plus point to have a player like that choose to come to your club, and I think that previous season once again is another example of why he's done so well. The previous season before that, 11 goals and 4 assists. And then the season before that, which was obviously the season Albion got promoted under Bilic, 10 goals, 12 assists. The only player to better Mateus Pereira's numbers, I think, in the Championship in terms of assists. So, yeah, once again, Wallace providing the business, and I think he's definitely proved himself to be a decent Championship prospect and scores a nice range of goals, a lot of them long ranges, a lot of them drilled finishes as well, so we can definitely expect that from him. But yeah, ultimately he's done a very, very good job and looks a real prospect, and 28 years old. We find a little bit that's sort of a little bit turning onto the old side, but with a winger like him, I think the energy in him won't really die out, and I think that's one of the primary reasons we've signed him. I think he's getting on a little bit for sort of a winger. You normally expect those to be a bit younger and a bit quicker, but I think with him the energy is so big. You know, Millwall, they're drilled into working hard and being tough and resilient against the opposition, but I think Wallace is no different. Possible concerns I have with him, of course, people do think he's a bit of a set piece merchant, and I think he's a little bit. I think he's definitely more than that. I think he's very good from open play, and you know, not loads of his assists have come from those set pieces. But I think in terms of his role in the squad, in terms of his role in Steve Bruce's 11, in terms of his role in the tactics and the team, I think that does worry me a little bit. I think because he's such a hard worker, is Bruce going to try and wield him into some sort of up and down winger, a defensive winger? You know, somebody who's going to be chopping up and down, defending, almost a second right back. Really, is he going to make him do that? I hope not, because I think that you look at him and you think he probably would do that for the team, and he'd do anything he's asked because that's the sort of player and personality he is. However, yeah, I do have my concern about kind of Bruce managing him and what Bruce will make him do and what sort of instructions he is. However, I do think that he's a good player, and I think that ultimately he's going to provide another bit of creativity. And now you look at that front four, it's a little bit more venomous than it has been over the past season. Of course, you could look at the start of last season where you've essentially got 3 forwards to pick from. Those are your 3 forwards, or 4 forwards to pick from. You've now got probably 6. It looks like Bruce is going to line up with a 4-2-3-1 formation. But yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to go. I'm not sure who's actually going to be in that side, or who's going to be playing in that. So yeah, I think I think Wallace will start on the right, but I think you've got Swift in the 10. You've got maybe a Dean Garner or Grant on the left hand side, and you've got Daryl DK up front. And yeah, Daryl DK is another big miss for us. I think that he's going to be a player that's going to be benefiting from Wallace. Of course, his crossing ability is second to none. I think that's one of his main strengths. So therefore, whipping those crosses in from that right hand side could bring could bear a lot of fruits for Albion, really. So yeah, plenty to look forward to with Jed Wallace, and I think ultimately he's going to be a really big signing for us, and one that I think is going to do the business. And yeah, I think definitely one to, if you haven't listened to, I think the Express and Star Albion podcast, they had Paul Robinson who spoke about Jed Wallace in some detail and what he could bring to the club. And yeah, of course we know that he's been offered that contract at Millwall and turned it down, but to sign for Albion is a big plus for Steve Bruce's side. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can bring. I think those crosses coming in from the right hand side could be massive. Combination play with John Swift, Dean Garner could bring the best out of him. I'm hopefully going to do a video on Dean Garner coming out pretty soon. But yeah, there's plenty of players that we can really look forward to, and plenty of opportunities that Jed Wallace is going to get to show his stuff at Albion. Let's just see if Bruce can get these tactics right and kind of get these players to work together as a team and play so many creative players in the same team. The risk of unbalance in the team, but yeah, I think Bruce is going to be one to take a look at and see what he can get the best out of it. But looking forward to seeing what Jed Wallace does at Albion. Drop your comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. It's always nice to hear your thoughts. Make sure you subscribe for more Albion content like this. It'd be great to hear from you guys as to what you think is going to happen with the transfer window and who you'd like to see come in. But Jed Wallace, what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below, and make sure you subscribe for all your latest Albion updates. And that brings me to the end of this video. Jed Wallace is now an Albion player. Goodbye.